Well, as AI and social media platforms face active lawsuits over child safety concerns, OpenAI has now introduced ChatGPT for teens.
Yeah, OpenAI is facing a string of lawsuits alleging that conversations young people had with ChatGPT contributed to mental health harm or deaths. But OpenAI insists its new platform will be safer. Meantime, opening statements are taking place for the case against Meta over child safety concerns on Facebook and Instagram. That's kicking off right now. These cases could have a major impact on AI and social media going forward. Our tech reporter and host of the CNN podcast, Terms of Service, Claire Duffy, is on the story. She joins us live now. I mean, we were talking last hour about what makes this case different, because literally, Bianna was saying that there are literally thousands of lawsuits against Meta and other social media companies. But part of it is the $1.4 trillion in damages, and also the fact that this is a multi-district lawsuit involving at least 29 states, Claire.
Yeah, Zain, I mean, that I think is really the big focus here, is the potential scale of the consequences for Meta in this case. It has already lost 2 of these social media addiction cases. It's on the hook for about $1 billion in damages in those cases. But this case that is kicking off today, state attorneys general are seeking, as you said, $1.4 trillion in damages. That is nearly as much as the company is worth on Wall Street. And even if they didn't get that big of a number, they're also seeking changes to how the platforms operate. So if Meta were to lose this case, we could see really significant changes to the experience that all of us have on social media. This case brought by 29 state attorneys general. This trial that kicks off today in federal court in Oakland will be argued by lawyers for 4 of those states, alleging that Meta intentionally designed its platforms to be addictive with features like the endlessly scrolling feeds, the recommendation algorithms. They're also claiming that Meta has misled the public about the risks of its platforms and that it has illegally gathered data from children under the age of 13. Now, Meta is pushing back hard on these claims, calling them unsubstantiated, saying that attorneys general are chasing a, quote, outlandish payout. And now, Zain, Bianna, a jury will have a chance to consider both sides of this argument. They'll ultimately be advising the judge who will be responsible for the verdict in this case.
You know, Claire, I was reading, I believe it was in the Wall Street Journal today, an article, and we've had these types of conversations in the past when it comes to social media, and I guess the same applies for AI, that these tech company CEOs may be doing one thing in terms of trying to spread their business model to consumers in the workplace, but at home in their private lives, they are shielding their children from the very same thing. So just talk to us now about what we're learning about ChatGPT for teens and how that applies to some of the concerns that these executives have had about their own kids using too much screen time.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a real tension, whether you're talking about social media or you're talking about AI, between the business model of these companies, which in many ways relies on keeping people using them for as long as possible, and what is healthy, especially for young people using these platforms. OpenAI has certainly faced significant scrutiny over child safety with ChatGPT. So the company is now rolling out this ChatGPT for teens specific experience for users under the age of 18 that brings together some existing protections that they had rolled out over the past year with new tools. Those will include things like take a break nudges if a user has been using the platform for 90 minutes within a several hour period. Also options for both parents and teens to set quiet hours where ChatGPT won't be available, or study hours where its learning mode will be on by default. They'll be preventing ChatGPT from expressing personal feelings towards a user. And also they'll be having reminders for teens to think twice if they've tried to upload a private or sensitive image. ChatGPT is also going to be alerting parents if their teen has potentially problematic conversations with the chatbot. This is something that OpenAI had already rolled out for suicide-related conversations. They're adding eating disorder-related conversations.
Let's talk about what they're rolling out here today. Joining me here in studio is Lauren Jonas. She's the head of youth well-being and families at OpenAI. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to me about what you are rolling out today. It's like a real product, not just an additional thing to add to the AI model. What is tangibly going to be different for parents and teenagers today?
Yeah, so we are launching ChatGPT for Teens. This is a dedicated, learning-focused experience for teens with additional protections and safeguards. 9 of 10 teens are using ChatGPT today for learning, and the goal is for this to be a learning tool for teens. And so what you see with this launch of ChatGPT for Teens is us really moving in that direction.
I mean, every parent says thank you. I'll have another when it comes to any tool that can help our kids learn better and learn safely when you're talking about being online. Parents have heard for years assurances of additional safety features coming from social media companies, nudges and suggestions and parental controls. And largely, so many people think it has not been nearly enough, so much so that countries are banning social media for teens. How do you assure parents who've seen this with social media and have seen it feel like it's not enough, that when it comes to AI, your safety features are going to be more successful?
ChatGPT is not social media. We are not a social media company. It's a very different thing. It is a learning tool. It's a tool for teens to expand and grow and create their future. One of the things that we're doing with ChatGPT for Teens, and we were the first in the industry to do this, is launch what we're calling parental safety notification. So if a teen is having a hard time on ChatGPT, a parent is notified. We're really heartened to see some of our industry peers follow suit in this regard. And with ChatGPT for Teens, we're expanding the categories where we're notifying parents if a teen is having a hard time.
How quickly is a parent notified?
From the moment that a teen expresses a hard moment on ChatGPT, that content is then reviewed by human beings. So human beings inside OpenAI review that content, and we notify a parent via text message, email, in ChatGPT. We strive for that whole process to take less than an hour.
It's a great goal. It requires a lot of human power. Yes. Do you have the human power and capacity to ensure that happens within an hour?
We do, and we keep expanding our portfolio here of notifications where we're making sure that parents have the information and the tools that they need to support their teens in a moment of crisis.
I mentioned the lawsuits when I was introducing this segment. Since the company started rolling out some parental controls and other safety features last year, you have faced these new lawsuits. Families in British Columbia of school shooting victims suing the company and the CEO in April, claiming ChatGPT enabled the shooter. In June, the state of Florida sued the company and the CEO, claiming that you failed to address ChatGPT's safety risks to minors. Is this rollout going to address those existing concerns?
Any one of these incidents is too many. I'm a parent. I've got little babies. I got 7, 5, and 3 kids 7 and under. And, our safety work is never done. This is 24/7, 365, a continuous effort to make sure that we're getting teens the support that they need in the moments that they need it.
But is this addressing the concerns raised in this? I mean, these lawsuits came after other features were already rolled out. And you're saying this is different on top of that?
This is an expansion of our safety features. And as part of this launch, we're partnering with the American Psychological Association to make sure that the way that the models respond to teens, that we're getting it right.
The OpenAI lots of reporting around OpenAI kind of moving towards and preparing for a potential blockbuster IPO. Not necessarily asking you about that, of course, but I was reading in the Financial Times actually that as part of this run up at the end of last month, OpenAI disbanded the preparedness team, which assessed whether its models could pose dangerous risks. A lot of that's talking about like the true kind of catastrophic end of days scenarios that people fear. How does that, though, disbanding of teams and reorganizing within your company, how does that impact your ability to do the things that you said? This putting a human touch to notify a parent when there is a concern raised, to make sure that these new safety features will alert parents within enough time?
This is a top priority for the company. We've been doing this work for years and will continue to focus on this work, and you'll see more from us here in the coming weeks.
And give me more. What's the coming weeks?
You'll see us continue to expand our parental safety notifications to areas like eating disorders, additional partnerships also with Code AI, previously known as Code.org, to make sure that teens are using these experiences to build their future as well.
a lot. I mean, when you say OpenAI, you know exactly what you're talking about these days because you guys are such a leading voice and leading engine in this industry. So these safety features are clearly much needed. Thank you very much for coming in and rolling this out with us today.
Thank you for the
Really
time.
appreciate it. Thanks, guys.